I'm going to talk about the Sandhill Annex, which is you're standing on right now. Did anybody notice anything different about the pavement they drove in on? Well, this is called porous pavement, and it is of the concrete variety. Basically, if we were out here during a rain event, we'd watch the rain fall and the rain would disappear into that. So what we have here is this used to be residence, dog kennel, and some other extra buildings out here. There used to be an old borrow pit in the back here, and a pond that used to be over here. As part of the process of getting the permit through the Army Corps of Engineers and working with U.S. Fish and Wildlife and all those other agencies, we had to do various improvements to some of these sites adjacent to the Stearns Road corridor. If you can, you see where the corridor kind of comes around, follows 25 through here. This area really isn't adjacent. It's adjacent to it, but it really isn't part of the improvements there. But this was one of the areas we had to do environmental improvements. So we razzed the buildings, and we created basically pockets of wetlands out here. In the upland areas, we have prairie that has been established, and then we reforested many of these areas as well. Prior to settlement, this was probably an oak savanna type complex, and so we're trying to reestablish that here. They estimated, I want to see here, 2.1 million for this parcel, the parcel across the way there, the roll-off property, and the property over there. This, happy to say, is under budget at 1.5 million. So those improvements have been done, so that's a good thing. So I don't know if there's any questions, but that's kind of the interest that we have here. And this will all be turned over to the Kane County Forest Preserve once the improvements have been completed and maintained.
Do you remember how many acres a Forest Preserve gets?
A lot. Something like 2/3 to 3/4 of the overall footprint is actually for environmental or open space reasons.
I don't know.
So
What is, do you know, roughly?
it's approximately probably 100 acres of forest preserve. Then you also have wetland creation and detention that's closer to the corridor.
Space.
Yeah, that's open space.
Total forest preserve and open space acreage is?
It's upwards of 200 acres, and then the roadway corridor itself is only about 90 acres. So you got about 250 acres that are green and 90 acres that are for the roadway purposes. So it's really
Green or permeable.
right.
These will be parks, basically, that people can have access, pull off, relax. There'll be some trails that go with this as well, so they can meander around here.
This is all prairie grass?
Well, this is ryegrass right now. This is the cover crop, and then what will come underneath is the prairie. It usually takes a year to 2 years before that really gets established, because it's putting a lot of its energy down into its root system. And then eventually you'll start to see the plants pop themselves up. This was all seeded. Just the prairie grass takes a period of time to get established, and so this is a cover crop to help to keep the erosion down, keep the seed in place, so you don't lose it with a big rain event.
So the prairie grass is already seeded and planted?
Yes, right. It's going to come up. This is an annual, so this will die back after this year's growing season. It may reseed itself with this, but it won't be at the same density as you have right now.
I think for this kind of traffic, parking lot basically, I think it's going to hold up. But that's something we really don't have a lot of experience with at our level.
I know the cities, if I can just jump in, the city of Chicago is doing a lot of this in their alleyways, which has garbage trucks and some heavier equipment, which I think is going to wear a lot different than here if we're just having the standard vehicles. So I think this will hold up a lot better. The key thing is keeping it clean. That's, because once you get stuff in it, then the porous, stops. You can't, water doesn't permeate. Right.
All right, we're at our last stop, which is F. So we're basically on the easternmost portion of the project. As you see, the alignment goes up through around the Pate Phillip Park over there. There's a small section over there that's in DuPage County, just at the very end. So we'll be a little mobile here. We're going to walk around. There's a lot to see in this area. We're standing basically at the future intersection of Stearns and Illinois 25. There's some staging going on with some of the bridges to try to keep Dunham Road open. Many of you know, you may have seen the signs or on the website that Dunham will be closing next week for a certain period of time, for about 6 weeks, in order to complete some of the structural work that we'll see as we walk around. The alignment, as you see, it's similar to what we saw on the west side of the river. We have the trim subgrade and we have the baskets going in, some more pavement pours this week and next week. So really just in the next couple weeks there's really going to be a very different look to the project with a lot more pavement in, the bridge deck pours going in. So there's as far as building up to the end in the next few weeks, it's a key time for this project. So I'd say let's take a walk. We're going to go take a look at the bridge, which is Illinois 25 over Brewster Creek, and it's a stage constructed bridge. You'll see a portion of it's in now. There's bar splicers on the east side, which as soon as we take traffic off of Dunham next week, they'll be able to build probably another third of the bridge. I think 2/3 is in. We need to build another third. There's a big box over here that's ultimately going to be a path underneath of 25 that we'll see, and that structure will also be completed in the next 6 weeks. And then they'll put traffic here on the new alignment. You'll see they already have the traffic signals in, so they're ready to go. So all we need is some pavement in and we'll be all set. So why don't we go ahead and walk to the north here. As you see the bridge here, it was impossible to keep building the entire width of the bridge out into the existing road there. So that's what's going to happen next week, is when that's shut off there, and there's a detour route that's posted and then also advertised on the website. But they'll build this bridge out, eventually come and put traffic here, and then that'll be taken out. Now if you turn behind you, you'll see this concrete structure. It's got some black waterproofing on the outside right there, and you'll see a future multi-use path that it's kind of graded right now, but although the path's not in yet, and that eventually runs over across that other bridge. This goes all the way under the stone that we just walked over and comes out where this concrete header wall is there. It's a full width access underneath the future Illinois 25, and then it'll go across, and then eventually you'll see the next tunnel there, which goes under this future Stearns Road. And you can see the interior of it. It's a little softer form line stone than we saw back at the river bridge, but you can see the inside is going to be a very nice form line stone. It's going to be stained concrete. There's going to be lighting in there. There's box outs for lighting on both of these things, so it'll be well lit and inviting for both the bicyclists and the pedestrians. So that other box that I'm pointing to over on the other side of Dunham, that will also be completed during that closing of Dunham. There was no way for that. We'll get a little closer over there, but really a lot of money and a lot of effort was spent to continue this path, which will be a great feature of the project. Brewster Creek kind of runs along down on the other side of the crane there, and then comes out, and then you can see the next bridge, which is Stearns Road over Brewster Creek there to the west of us, just there where the white pickup truck is. He's parked on the bridge there. And then if you look all the way to the south, you'll see the two twin bridges there. They were actually built in a pre-stage contract. It's not part of this contract, but they were done within the last couple years. And those will be put to use as soon as we get traffic over here, which should be in 6 weeks from Monday. This is our last stop here, so on behalf of certainly Alfred Benish and Company, who have been involved with the project for over 10 years now in the planning and the design, and it's really, we're fortunate to have this opportunity to see it right through to closure. So it's been exciting for us, and I'm sure it is for all of you. It's just a tremendous project for Kane County, and it's neat that we have the interest to come out here and see the project, and certainly want to thank Carl and Karen and Manny and everyone for setting up this opportunity. We always welcome tours. If you want a couple months or a month goes by and you'd like to see something else, we have personnel on staff here every day that would welcome your interest in the project. So just want to say thanks for coming out, and I hope you enjoyed it.